Instagram. What's up, Facebook? Hope you had an incredible Halloween. I actually just found this pumpkin. It was over there hiding out. We forgot to carve this one. So we're going to have some post-Halloween activities, or I guess save it for a decoration for November and fall. So hope everybody had a great time. Those who celebrated Halloween, those who didn't. Hey, if you didn't celebrate Halloween, that's okay, but you're missing out on raiding your kids' candy. Our kids made out like bandits for sure, and we have to keep it up hiding in the covers that's right, Tuscany. We have to keep it up in the covers, so we got to ration it. But all you parents know, one thing for sure on Halloween when your kids go trick-or-treating, parents get first dibs, okay? The kids got to pay the vig, so you get to skim through it and pick what you want. But anyways, hopefully everybody having a great Halloween, and it is the first of the month. The first of the month is my favorite time of the month. Absolutely. Hey, Nick, how you doing, my friend? And to those on Instagram, I see my little niece there, Tuscany, and some others. The first of the month is my favorite time of the month, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why here in just a minute. But for those of you who don't know me, absolutely. Nick, the end of the month is great. And you can go into the first of the month with some momentum, rocking and rolling. But for those of you who don't know me on either platform, I'm doing this on Instagram, Facebook. I also have this up on YouTube. My name is Dallas Baldri. I'm the co-founder of the HD High Definition, not Harley Davidson Group, and the creator of the hashtag, the HD Life movement. You might see the HD family, the HD couple, HD everything, right? So when you see HD, you know exactly what it is. And I'm actually wearing one of my older shirts. I wore this on purpose. This one's a little faded. The hashtags, I mean, this has been worn for years. But I wore this just as a reminder, when you see anything new coming out HD, think twice. This is the real deal. We've been here. We're not launching anything new because we don't need a launch. We've been here for years. So that's who I am. That's who we are. But the first of the month is incredible because several reasons. For our family, for my personal life. Hey, Sheldon, how you doing? And if you're watching the replay, let me know because I won't be able to shout you out, obviously. Just write replay, and I'll catch you on the next one for sure. Love the shares, and I definitely will return the favor for you. But in our personal life, our family life, the first is always a fun time because, well, I think first and foremost, well, maybe not, but first and foremost, you have my birthday, which is on a 1st. So it's December 1st coming up, right? I got 30 days to close out my year, Nick, to close out my year strong. So that's December 1st. We have January 1st, which obviously is the beginning of the new year, which is always exciting, but that's also the anniversary of when I proposed to my wife, the HD wife. February 1st is our anniversary of when we got married. What else do we have? April 1st is April Fool's Day. No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't count. We have June 1st, which is the anniversary of when we started dating. So a lot of important firsts in our relationship. And you have now November 1st. November 1st, we accomplished a very huge milestone for our family personally. I'm not going to boast or brag about it, but it's a huge deal for our family. So November 1st will always be special for us as well. So I might even be missing some others, but every first is great. Every first is great. I feel, other than those milestones for us, for you personally and for your business. A lot of times we wait until the first of the year to set our goals or to make changes in our life, right? Hey, you know what? I'm going to wait until January 1st, and which really ends up being like January 8th because you have that holiday hangover. I'm going to wait till the first of the year, January 1st, and that's when I'm going to write my goals down or my resolutions. That's when I'm going to make these changes. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start whatever it is, eating good. I'm going to start working harder, whatever the things that are holding you back. I'm going to start making more money, saving more money, whatever it is, okay? So that's, drop a 1 if that's something you do. Drop a 1 if you're somebody who says, you know what, I'm going to wait, I'm going to start at the beginning of the year, okay? I'm going to start this at the beginning of the year, or maybe it's the beginning of the quarter, and that's why I love the beginning of the month, because you don't have to wait to the beginning of the year. Now, right now, it's November 1st, so we're 2 months away from the beginning of the year. That's not too long, but that's 2 months of your life. I mean, that's 2 months you can be doing some incredible things, getting started on some of these big goals that you have right now. and in my opinion, getting a head start. Exactly, Nick, getting a head start on 2018 or whatever year it is, starting now. And that's why I love the first of every single month, because it kind of gives you that fresh feeling, right? It gives you that clean start. There's something powerful about the first or number one. I have some probably candy wrappers on my hand. No, it wasn't me eating it. So the first, right? So that's why I love November 1st. Okay, forget January 1st. Forget waiting till December 1st. Forget waiting anytime. Get started now. And why specifically November out of many first is so critical for you in your, I'd say personal and business. A lot of you watching this are entrepreneurs, like myself. So critical for you. But even if you're not, think about it in your personal life. Like, I'll tell you one. With the holidays coming up here in most parts of the world, what happens? A lot of parties, a lot of eating, and a lot of people end up gaining weight around that time. So if you say, hey, you know what, because I have this coming up, it's so easy, like even right now to say, you know what, I really want to start eating better, I really want to start working out, I want to get in shape, but you know what, the holidays are starting in a few weeks, and then I'm going to go to these parties, and I'm going to want to eat this, I'm going to want to have that, and then it's Christmas, or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. And then it's New Year's. I'm going to wait till after. It's so easy, especially November, to do that. And I'm telling you, that's a big mistake. Get a jump start now, right? Put yourself in those habits now. For business, it's critical, especially if you're in a country. And why I'm specific is because a lot of the people watching this, we do a lot of business in Asia. Okay, so it's different all over. But in many countries, most countries, you got holidays coming up, right? So what happens is a lot of people kind of check out. So maybe potential prospects, clients, business partners, they start already kind of checking out. As soon as it hits November, hey, they put the pumpkins away and they start checking into Thanksgiving and turkey mode, and which means vacations, which means coasting for a lot of people, and it can make business sometimes more challenging to do. So if you wait right now, I'm telling you, if you wait now, you wait till November 7th, it's going to get more and more difficult. But if you start taking action right now, beginning in November, you can go into the holiday season with some momentum and makes it much easier to get business done. And then, of course, that's going to make your year even that much bigger because you have a jump start on most of your competition or others out there. And the thing that I'll talk about more and more as we approach the holidays is we've had incredibly successful holiday seasons when it comes to business because of really strategizing in the way we market. And we use the holidays to our advantage, really. And we'll talk more about that, but that's really not what I wanted to focus on. But what I wanted to talk about is we had one of the greatest World Series. Now, some of you might say, World Series? I was watching the Champions League games today. Hey, that's great. Go Napoli, even though we lost today. Some of you might be watching, badminton or tennis or rugby or whatever it is. But World Series baseball. I think a lot of people know World Series baseball in all markets, all countries. So it's the best of the best in baseball coming together and playing each other. And it's a 7-game series. So the first team that wins 4, and I know a lot of you are like, why are you explaining this? I know this. But not everybody does, okay? Hey, Kathy. Thanks for watching on Instagram. Hey, Sheldon, Alex. So what happens is, it's the best of 4, and a lot of times it doesn't go 7 games. One team will win 4 out of the 5 or 4 out of the 6, whatever. But when it goes to the 7th game, it's so magical because it's really your entire season. There's 162 games, plus a bunch of playoff games, and that World Series comes down to 7 games, and whoever wins 4. So if it gets to game 7, that means 3-3, and this is it. Nothing else after this, so it's do or die. And these games are so magical, so special. There was an incredible one last year. You don't get them every year. This year was amazing. The World Series was phenomenal. I was fortunate to go to a Game 7. It was the best sporting event I've ever been to. 2001, the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. Unbelievable game, one of the best ever. And I'll just tell you that it's just, you don't have to be a baseball fan or a fan of these teams. I wasn't a fan of these teams. In fact, one of the teams I disliked tremendously, the Dodgers. Sorry, Dodger fans. Not a big fan. I'm a Phillies fan and a Diamondbacks fan. So we don't like you. But Astros, you know, I was cheering for the Astros, but because either team wasn't my team, I just wanted to see something great. Back and forth battles, Game 7, and that's exactly what we got. And, you know, the Astros story is phenomenal, okay? The Astros story is really incredible. They were the worst team just a few years ago. They were horrible. I mean, they were the laughing stock of baseball. That team was trash. And they put together with some good management, okay? Good management, good leadership, talking business terms, good leadership. And they had a plan, right? They had a plan to go from horrible to being able to compete. And so they started off by picking young talent, right? And picking talent, making some moves. And long story short, and I can't wait for this story to come out, because every year they come out with these stories. They made it. They're the world champions. They're the best in baseball. They earned it. They deserve it. And they're a very young team. So they'll probably be there if they keep doing what they do for a while. So incredible story. And some side notes, as everybody in the world knows by now, the devastation that Houston, the city where the Astros are from, encountered with Hurricane Harvey. I mean, the damage is horrible. I mean, still, months later, and it devastated that city. And so to have a positive story, a group, even though they're athletes, right, come together, and they did a lot for the community, really give the people of Houston, whose lives have been, temporarily devastated, who lost a lot, some of them lost everything, to have something to look forward to each and every night, to have something to cheer for, to have something that just makes them happy, and for them to win, that's awesome. I mean, congratulations to the city of Houston. Amazing story. I'm very, very happy for Houston and all Astro fans really around the world. But as strange as it is, I really want to talk about the loser. And you might say, well, why would you want to talk about the loser? You just said you didn't like that team and you were happy that the Astros won. I am. But I was thinking about this, and I was thinking as I was actually watching the post-game conferences. And I love watching the celebration, well-deserved, but I also watch how the losing team reacts. I also watch what the losing team says. What do the coaches say? What is their mentality? Now, of course, they're going to be upset. I mean, of course, they're going to be sad. I mean, they got to the very, very end. But what was their mindset? And I saw some cool things. One of the young kids, 22-year-old kid, Bellinger, he was talking about how incredible of a series it was. Bellinger, I think is his name. He's actually from here where I live in Arizona. And he just said, hey, they said, any words for the Dodger fans? Says, we'll get him next year. So I love that mindset. But it reminded me of something that I do, okay? Now, I'm not a professional athlete. So it's different, but it's so much similar. And what I always notice about some of the best in any sport is when they lose a championship, okay? When they lose, they literally sit there and they watch the other team go out and celebrate. And in this case, it had to be hard. You're watching this other team that you got down to the very end celebrate on your home. This was done in Los Angeles on their field. They're celebrating. And, that's even more, painful to the heart. But you watch, and I see this in different sports. I've seen Tom Brady do this. I've seen different athletes do this, some of the greats, and they sit there and they watch. They don't just immediately get off like poor sports and go back to the locker room and complain and cry about what it maybe some, I'm sure a lot of them do, but these special ones sit there and watch, and they watch these other players and these other teams celebrate, and they watch intently. And why do you think they might do this? Does anybody have an idea why you think they might do this? And by the way, if you're just joining us, let me know. Emoji, anything you want to let me know that you're alive and breathing. And if you're watching the replay, drop a replay. Also, let me know where you're watching from. I always love seeing that. Even if you're on the Instagram feed, if you're watching YouTube, wherever you're watching, let me know. Drop the comments. And love to connect with you with all the travel I do. I'll probably be wherever you're at some point very, very soon. That's for sure. And going back to that, the reason they do this is because they want to remember that moment, okay? They want to remember, not because they want to say, hey, that's pretty cool how they're getting that trophy. Oh, that's pretty cool how they're being interviewed. Oh, that's cool, that celebration. No, they're doing it because they want to remember this moment. They want to remember how it feels to suffer that defeat. They want to remember how it feels to lose, that crushing moment. Now, why would they want to remember the pain? Well, because what champions do, what winners do, is they take that pain, they take that defeat, and they use it to motivate them beyond where they've ever been motivated before. To be a successful professional athlete, to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to have motivation, crazy motivation already. But sometimes we need that extra fire to take us to a level we couldn't imagine, and that pain, that crushing defeat is something that can do it. So when they're in the off season and they want to take a vacation, or do they want to get stronger, they remember that feeling of defeat, that pain, watching the other team celebrate on their field. When they're in spring training or practice and maybe they want to take it easy, they remember that pain, that feeling, and they use that to drive them. They use that to fuel them beyond where they would normally be. Throughout the season, right? Throughout the next playoffs, throughout the next championship. And so often you see those losers, they were losers, end up being champions. And they use that pain, they use that defeat, they use that to drive them. They use that feeling. And I've done the same thing. You know, I've done in my personal life with things that were crushing blows personally to me, where I remember them, and I use that to drive and motivate me. But even even comparing it more to the celebration, I was with the company, working with the company, and we were doing really well. We did very well, but we really hit a plateau at some point. And I went to an event where they were doing the awards. Basically, they were recognizing certain people for high achievement. The best achievements. They were handing out huge bonus checks, and I wasn't a part of that. But what I did is I went to the very front. I worked my way through the crowd, and I got in the very front, and I stood there and I watched. Now, I didn't watch. I was happy for all of them. Okay, they deserved it. But I watched because I wanted to remember that they were up there, I was down here. And I wanted to remember, and I took pictures and videos, but I wanted it in my mind. I wanted it engraved into my mind that, you know what? They're up there, I'm down here. Great for them. Not good for me, but I'm going to be up there. I am going to be up there, and I'm not going to stop until I am. And I'm going to remember this moment. Did I lose? No, I didn't lose, but I wasn't winning. I'm going to remember this moment to drive me, because next time I'm up there. Okay? And I ended up doing that, broke records, and a lot of that part, as you say, the rest is history. So I encourage you to do the same. Even if you're on a winning streak right now, you're going to lose. There's going to be times in your life you're going to lose. Whether it's personal, financial, business, whatever, you're going to lose. But learn from that. But more importantly, I think a lot of smart people know to learn from it. Use that. Remember that moment. Okay? Remember that moment and use that to drive you through the difficult times that you're going to face in the future. Because it doesn't matter. You're always going to come across different obstacles. You're always going to come across setbacks. So use that feeling of defeat that you want to avoid like the plague, right? You want to avoid it. And use that to motivate and drive you. So hopefully that helps you. Remember, just because you're a loser doesn't mean you can't be the champion. In fact, a lot of losers end up becoming the champions. So have a great night, guys. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Feel free to share, comment, and once again, if you're watching this, let me know you watched the replay just so I know. Hey, Daniel, see you checking on late. Hey, Sam over there on Instagram. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you. And keep living your life in high definition, the real high definition.